Hi, and welcome to the Adam Templar Show, and I am your host, Adam Templar. This is a slightly new kind of chat show, in the fact that I'll be talking to those controversial people, the movers, the shakers, in whatever profession that may be, famous or not, it doesn't matter. In fact, the more controversial you are, the more you're welcome on my show. We're also different in the fact that we're not studio-based, so we can go to you if you need us to. As you can see, today we're in a bookstore because my first guest on this new show is Mr. Thomas Beavers, one of the co-writers of a controversial new book called Not Without a Fight, about the Jewish resistance during the Holocaust. So, please welcome my first guest, Mr. Thomas Beavers.
Adam, thank you.
How you doing? Please. Glad to be here.
Likewise.
Take a seat. So, Thomas.
Yes.
First of all, I want to say thank you for being my first guest on my new show.
I'm delighted. I'm delighted to be your guinea pig, I guess.
Okay. Right. I read your book, and I have to say it's wonderful stuff. Very powerful, very emotional. Why did you decide to write it?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Basically, we decided to write the book. Well, let me back up a little bit. My father was a Holocaust survivor.
Okay.
And in addition, not just was he a survivor, but he and his entire family fought in the Jewish resistance. And the reason why we decided to write the book is in Hollywood, on print, in any type of literature, all you do when it comes to the Holocaust, you see nothing but the Jewish people just how they're portrayed as willingly going to concentration camps. They're willingly falling victim to the prey of the Nazis. And it just wasn't the case.
Right.
The Jewish people fought back. And in the case of my father, the Bieberstein family specifically, they fought back. And we decided to write a book on the Jewish resistance. And it just, well, originally we were going to write the book about my father's experience, and it just manifested into something much bigger.
Okay. But there's already so many books and so many movies that have done about the Holocaust already. I mean, what makes this one so different, do you think?
Well, like I said, this book specifically targets about the Jewish resistance in Warsaw in the ghettos. Right. It was co-written by my cousin, D.W. Duke. And we decided what really makes this different is what I said in the beginning, is that it's about the Jewish resistance, it's about the fight. There's a point where in both the ghetto uprisings in Warsaw and the Polish uprisings in Warsaw, that yes, militarily it wasn't that successful in terms of wins and losses for the Jews, but it did hold the Germans back. It took them 30 days in the Warsaw uprising and the ghetto uprisings to quell the rebellion, and by doing so, they had to pull a full division off the Eastern Front to stop it, therefore leaving that flank exposed.
Wow.
And also, what makes it even more compelling is that this book is the hero is not a man; it is actually a woman. In this case, my grandmother and his mother.
I noticed that, actually. That gives it a different slant. And
Right.
the way in which it's written as well is very filmic. You almost see yourself in there. I mean, are there any plans to...
Well, we are planning on taking on the screen.
Okay.
And specifically with Irina Bieberstein, which is my grandmother.
Yeah.
She is so compelling. If you read the book, she's so compelling and ingenious in her way of fighting back. Now, she wasn't didn't do any of the physical fighting, but her mind and her ability to think clearly and to do whatever it took to keep her family alive was tremendous. So tremendous, in fact, that my father, when he came to the United States and his first daughter, or rather his daughter, youngest daughter, I should say, was named Irina after his mother.
Cool. One thing, because it's quite an emotional and powerful book, I mean, one thing I thought to ask you was, if you don't mind, during your research and writing of it, because I know it took quite a while, did it open up any old wounds for you, or something that you buried? Or
well, not so much for me. My father, growing up, my father was very open about talking about it. In fact, if you listen to him, he single-handedly beat Hitler. Right. I mean, the way he described his fighting, and he would indulge you for hours, just having a great time talking about it. that he fought back. At 8 years old, he was able to resist. So that didn't open any wounds. The only thing that was difficult was that we were going to write the book, Duke and I, when my father was still alive.
Right.
So we started the foundation and the basis of that. Unfortunately, he passed away prior to us actually launching the book. Okay. So we decided, what we're going to do now. We don't have a subject matter to talk about. So we decided to go in and do some research, as you said, into what's called the Shoah Foundation. Okay. The Shoah Foundation is the Steven Spielberg idea. Back when he made Schindler's List, he decided to go around the entire world and document every single Holocaust survivor, whether Jewish or gay or whatever happened to be victim of the Nazis, and get their testimony on tape. And luckily for us, in '96, they sent a crew down to our house to videotape it. So when my father passed away, we figured, wait a minute, I got 8 hours of testimony sitting in USC under the Shoah Foundation. So we decided that's what we did. We got the tapes together, reviewed it, and basically the book is almost a living testimony. It is a living testimony off those tapes. It's kind of written as my father explaining how things.
Right. You can tell that when you read it, because you are there. You see everything. It's very, very well worded. So. And
what's interesting is that they came from a very wealthy family. As you read opening book, or opening chapter, they live in a 30-room mansion. They have servants. They have cars. They travel. It was a nice life.
Right.
And so what really makes it even more compelling is that when, it hits the fan, basically, that how they go from here to here, but in between all that, they manage to stand on 2 feet and survive.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I've read it and it's powerful stuff. Don't be shy, Thomas. The floor is yours. Tell people where they can buy this.
Well, right now you can buy on Amazon, or, which I prefer, if you go over to our website, it's called notwithouta.com, and from there there's a link specifically to Amazon, and on the website itself it explains why the book was written and gives you more insight as to what the resistance was about.
Okay. Got to tell you, it's powerful stuff, guys. You should get yourself a copy. So thank you again, Thomas, for being my first guest on the show. Thank you all out there for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you tune again next week, where I'm going to be talking to a guy called George Clinton, who has got some wonderful ideas about shaking up the whole movie industry in Nevada. Have a good one.